Hey guys, Samu7 here, trying to stay on that YouTube video cheese grind. This video, I'm not gonna lie, I've done like a few different versions of this video, and I've kind of gotten unlucky. I recorded one and I just didn't like it, so I just scrapped it. I recorded another one, which was more so like focused on a certain weapon and what I thought they should do to change that weapon. Not even kidding. I was gonna release that video. Like, I made it one day, the next day I was going to release it, like, that night for the next day. And then, like, that night, literally that night before I posted it, they came out with a hotfix and, like, did the exact change that I was suggesting in the video. So I was like, well, what is the point of that video now? So I conked that one, and now here I am again for the third time trying to do this video. But I'm doing it a little bit different again. So what I wanted to do with this video, and this is, like, this goes for everyone. So it could be people that have tried Apex, maybe only played it a little bit, people that have played it a lot, maybe taken a break from it, or people that haven't tried the game at all. And like the main question here is, like, should you try Season 2? And I'm not going to be really lame YouTube cheese here and freaking like wait to the end to answer that question. I'm just going to answer it right away. Yes, I do think you should try it. But rest of the video is going to be more so me explaining why. So Apex Season 2, I think, is genuinely the most fun that the game has been. Like, right now, I think it's the most fun that it's ever been. I seriously, sincerely mean that. Why? Why is that the case? So, like, few reasons here. This is an insane game in the background, by the way. I get conked in the beginning, but after I get saved by the TTV Gamer, by the way, that's his freaking name, TTV Gamer. Of course, lands by himself, has to come all the way over here to help me. After this beginning, it ends up being a pretty insane game. So anyways, why do I think Season 2 is the most fun it's ever been? There's a few reasons here. So one, I think that the game was getting into, I think it had a real, like, game mode issue, where all there was the public match trios, and that's it. Like, that's all there was in Apex, and that's, in a way, that's all there still is. Now there's well, there's still just trios. They haven't added, like, duos or solos or anything like that, unfortunately. Personally, I don't really care about solos in this game. I think this game is not designed for that, but I do think duos would be pretty fun, so I would like to see that. But right now, they added a new ranked mode, and I'm not going to lie, I haven't even played the ranked mode. Haven't even tried it. But, so you might be wondering, like, well, what do you have to say on it then? I think that the ranked mode has severely changed the player pool for the public matches. So, like, the previous, like, I'd say, like, 1 to 2 months of Apex has been this weird time where you have, like, these teams that are just super sweaty, clearly, like, trying to like, get ready for some sort of, like, ranked mode, and it was just getting kind of annoying because I felt like I couldn't play Apex with my friends anymore because every lobby would have, like, 4 teams that were clearly just, like, being stupid in my in my opinion, like, practicing super hard for a freaking ranked mode that wasn't there. And I was just getting tired of it, and I'm like, this game's not even fun to play with friends anymore. Like, it's just not a good time. Because, well, at first it was like there'd be like 4 teams, and then it got to the point where I swear I'd feel like half the teams in the lobby would just be going super hard. And there's probably a few different reasons why that was, but that was the way it was. Now with them adding the ranked mode, I feel that that's just not the case anymore. That there's just not as many of those teams. I mean, of course, you're still gonna have good players in the normal mode, but it's not the way it was before. It feels like a much more balanced, like, BR experience now, whereas before it was just getting annoying. It was getting really annoying. Now it's back to the point where I feel like I can just play with my friends and actually, like, have a good time and get some wins in this game instead of it just being ridiculous before. And if I was playing with someone that, you know, doesn't play the game regularly, and I actually feel like I have a chance now, whereas before it was getting to the point where it felt like it was getting to the point where I felt like I needed a team of 3 people that actually, like, play the game consistently, actually trying to get a win, and it just wasn't as fun. Now it's not like that anymore. I feel like adding that ranked mode has separated the player base a little bit in a good way. And now I think that those ranked matches are there for people that want that sweaty experience and that it'll be fun for them. And I think that public matches are there for people that want that public experience to kind of, like, try to go for the win, but also have a little bit of room to, like, have a little bit of fun. And I think that's a good time. And I think it's good that they separated those. I think it's a lot more fun for everybody. Because I don't think the ranked people enjoyed it either. The fact that there would be, like, squads that were just, like, high, you know the COD players that are clearly just faded. There are some COD players that you could tell, like, they're on something when they're playing. Apex definitely has those types of teams, and I'm sure for the competitive people is getting annoying. Like, oh, look at this team's like not even trying. You know, like we want an actual 20 competitive teams going at experience so we can actually like get good at this. So now they have that, and now the public players that want to get high and play Apex have that as well. So I think that makes the game a lot more fun, and it's a really good change. Some other stuff that I want to mention in this video was just like the game balance right now is not perfect. Okay, it is not perfect by any means, but I do think that the game balance is in a pretty good spot, especially with the immediate change that they made to disruptor rounds. Everything's not perfectly balanced in this game, but again, not everything is meant to be perfectly balanced in Apex. Like they've even said that, like there are things that are supposed to be like more useful than other items, and there are things that are supposed to be like very used for very like niche scenarios and stuff like that. I mean, you have that down to the game's armor system. I mean, you've got 4 different types of armor, all like just straight upgrades on each other. Like that's not balanced. You know, if someone has purple armor, you have white, you get in a fight. Like that's not balanced, but that's just the way the game is. Like that's just the way they've designed it. It's the way they've made the loot pool and balance the game essentially. Like it's inherently unfair in some ways, as Battle Royale kinda just is. But I just think it's the most fun state that it's been in, where the imbalances bother me the least, and they've added some items that kind of help counter those. Like for example, I mean, you could get in some unfortunate scenarios where it's like, okay, I have white shield, this other guy has purple shield, and we both have disruptor rounds. Again, it's BR, like that's gonna happen. There are also some situations where it's like, oh, you know, this guy has purple armor right off the bat, and that sucks. You know, usually that would mean I'm toast, but I happen to find disruptor rounds right off the bat in an alternator, and I just am able to shred his purple shields, make the fight an even fight again. There's that chance now. There's that chance of counterplay. Again, it's BR. Not always going to happen the way it's intended, but there's at least a chance of counterplay now, which I think makes the game a lot more fun. I also think that a lot of these things that they've added, like these new attachments and stuff like that, that have made the useless, I mean literally useless weapons actually have a use, are good. Like the alternator is actually a really good gun now. It's like the alternator's meta now with the disruptor rounds addition, and the RE45 isn't as meta as the alternator, I would say, but it is also useful. It's like a good attachment holder until you can find an alternator, and it is also useful if you find those disruptor rounds. The Mozambique and the P2020 with hammer point are really good for finishing people off. Like if you rip somebody's shields, doesn't even have to be with a weapon with disruptor rounds. If you just rip someone's shields with like an R99, you know, get behind some cover, peek back out with your Mozambique with hammer point, it's not actually a bad play anymore. If you have like a purple bolt and hammer point on a Mozambique and somebody's just down to like 100 health, you could really rip them and finish them off way faster than they expected. And that same thing goes for the P2020. Same exact thing goes for the P2020. They're both really good. Personally, I think I prefer the P2020 a little bit more, but I don't know. I kind of enjoy killing people with the Mozambique. It's like, even though it's actually useful now, it's still just funny. It's just funny to me. But yeah, I really like those hop-up additions, especially now that they've balanced them out a little bit better. And I just, I like that they've taken those guns that were the untouchables of the game, like the guns that just, you would not even bother, like even if you found them right away in the beginning, you would just leave it there and look for another gun. That's really what it was, like it was to that point where when I was finding like P2020s and Mozambiques, like right off the start, I was just going on with my day, looking for another gun. Not even worth wasting your time picking them up, that's how useless they were. And now, with those hop-ups, they actually do have a use, and that's great. There's also some really good changes to the energy weapons. I actually enjoy using the energy weapons a lot more now. Like, for example, honestly, all of them, the Devotion, the Havoc, and the Triple Take, I like using the energy weapons a lot more now that they've made the ammo a little bit better for carrying. Like, carrying around energy ammo was kind of a burden before, now it's not as much of a burden. It's still kind of a burden to find it, but carrying it around isn't as bad. They added extended energy mags. That is something that should have been in there from the beginning, but that makes the energy weapons a lot more competitive, and I like that. Also makes them a little bit more balanced in a way with the other weapons that like all have extended mags, so that's cool. This fight was insane. I don't know how he won this fight. This fight was like the decisive fight right here. So they added all that in, and yeah, like the Devotion and the Havoc are still pretty reliant on the turbocharger, but I still think they're useful without it if you know what you're doing. And the Triple Take is just a beast. The Triple Take is... A lot of people go for the longbow, but I genuinely prefer the Triple Take. Just me personally, I think it's way more consistent. I can hit shots so much more consistently with it, and those shots tend to do a pretty decent amount of damage. Not always as much damage. It's a little more inconsistent in that regard with the damage. Like sometimes I'll do way less damage than I would with a longbow. Sometimes I'll do way more with the triple take. So there's a little bit of inconsistency there, but I think it's worth the risk most of the time, just because it's so much more consistent, so much more fun to use for me personally. So yeah, I like those changes to that. They also changed the shotguns. They balanced out the shotguns a little bit by changing their ammo. They did the opposite of what they did with the energy ammo, where they allowed you to carry more energy ammo. They split up the shotgun ammo, where you can only carry like stacks of 16 instead of before it was a stack of 64, which was dumb because all you needed was one stack of shotgun ammo and you're good. Unlike every other type of ammo in the game, where you're gonna want extra stacks, unless you're using like a wingman, a longbow, a triple take gun like that. You know, you could get away with using one stack of ammo. All other like automatics and stuff like that, you would need multiple stacks. So I like that change for the shotguns. I think that's a fair balancing change, and now that kind of hurts the shotguns a little bit in a way that they needed to be balanced out better. So I like that. And I still use shotguns. I still use shotguns a lot. I don't think it killed them at all. I still think they're very useful for a certain type of playstyle. So I'm okay with that. Oh man, sorry. This clutch here is insane too. This gameplay is nuts. They added a new character Watson, which I'm playing as here. I'm not gonna lie, I don't really use her abilities at all in this game, but her abilities are interesting. I played with her quite a bit today, and my opinion on her is basically I think she's like a better version of Caustic. I don't really like Watson. She doesn't really fit my playstyle, but I could see her being very useful for ranked. Like for pubs, I don't think that she's going to be very fun, although there is a clutch that I'm going to upload later that I do believe that I got because I was playing Watson, so that was kind of cool. So I'll upload that one later. But in general, like for pubs, I don't think Watson's that useful. I mean, if you like the character, like the voice lines and stuff like that, play her for that. But other than that, like I just don't think she's very good for, you know, pubs are usually pretty fast paced and like running around. You don't really have anything that benefits you with that with Watson. But for competitive, where there's going to be a lot more slow play, a lot more conservative play style, a lot more like holding up in buildings, holding up on power positions, in those cases, I could see Watson actually being a very viable pick for competitive. So I could see her being good in that. So at least she's got that going for her. We're getting to the end of the gameplay here. I'm going to clutch this out. Love to see it. First 20 kill game of the season, by the way. Could have got more if I could have third-partied this fight a little bit quicker. But yeah, so all in all, like all those things that I just mentioned add up to why I think you should try Apex this season. I think that it's in the best state that it's ever been in. I think it's like the most balanced it's been. I think it's really fun. It's not perfect. They have added in some bugs, I will admit that. There's this one bug that like sends you to the lobby a lot when you try to start games. Like that's kind of annoying. That can waste a lot of time. So it's not perfect. But overall, I think it's in the best state that it's been in. And if you want to try it, I think now is the best time to try it. I really do. That we've had so far. And yeah, it's a lot of freaking fun, especially if you get a team of 3. Solid game right there, solid dub, and hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope I can encourage some people that haven't tried it, or also some people that haven't played it in a while to come back, because I think it's worth a shot at least. I mean, if you try it, you don't like it, whatever, but at least worth a shot. Yeah, I'm kind of stacking it here with that gameplay, because that was a pretty crazy gameplay. But you know, not every game is like that. There's frustrating moments. There's stuff like that. But overall, I think it's a good time. All right, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Later.